Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Dave, aka the Costume Kid, and today we're going to be making Marty Mcfly's 2015 jacket. So let's get started. So I got a few requests to do a Marty McFly costume, and the reason I'm doing his 2015 version, aside from you directly asking for that, is because Back to the Future is my favorite movie, so I already have Marty's costume and the flux capacitor and everything, and so I didn't make a video about this stuff. Like, this costume is pretty easy to make. Here, I'll give you the rundown. Red shirt I already had, white shirt I already had, jean jacket I bought at the thrift store, orange vest I bought at the thrift store, and boom, you're Marty. So it's really iconic, but he's really just wearing normal clothes. So that's why we're gonna make the Back to the Future 2 2015 Marty McFly version, because that's got an actual like futuristic kind of jacket thing that we can really sink our teeth into. So first off, I headed to our local thrift store to pick up some pieces for this costume. So if you notice, with Marty's self-tailoring jacket, at least what Marty McFly Jr. likes to do is he leaves the sleeves really long because it's supposed to shrink the sleeves that it fits you, like the future technology would. But since he's one of the cool kids, he likes to leave the sleeves really long. So I tried to find both a gray jacket that has like really long sleeves and a red jacket that'll be kind of actually fits me, that I can be the torso and then cut off the sleeves from that. You get it? Let's move on. So here's what I found. So first off, I got this gray jacket. This was about $9 and it's pretty ginormous. As you can see here, the sleeves are really long, but this is actually pretty accurate to the way Marty's jacket looks like, at least the sleeves. So if I just chop off the sleeves and glue them to the red jacket, this does look pretty cool. And then we could even like kind of hot glue, make it like elastic on the end so that this fits me, but then just kind of bunches up like that, which is pretty accurate to the way he has it. Then next I got this kind of dark red maroon vest here. Now this was only $5 and I think it was a really good find because as you can already see, it's got that gray trim which looks really nice, really accurate, and it doesn't have sleeves at all, so we don't have to chop any of those off. It's just got the right shape and it fits me really nicely, so I think this is going to be pretty good. So if you see, I'll give you kind of a demo here. It's going to look like. Put this over it, so the middle section will be gone, but I think that looks pretty good. So it's really close right now, but now there's just a few more modifications we got to do to this, and it looked pretty good. Also, Marty has a really cool kind of tie-dye looking hat there, so I found this Mario hat at the thrift store for $4, and it looks really awesome right now. It kind of stays up like his does. It doesn't like kind of flop down, you know, because he just wears it like this and it looks pretty cool. So this is gonna work, and yeah. So as you know, I have a bunch of pairs of old shoes that I can just be like, hey, put some fabric on this, hey, spray paint this. But for these shoes, I really wanted to start with some Nikes. So if you may remember from my Quicksilver video, I started with some old Nikes that I then spray painted silver, and I still have them here, and they look really sweet. But I think I'm gonna try to turn these guys into the Nike mags. So goodbye Quicksilver shoes. We're now going to change them up a bit and reuse them for a different type of shoes. So the first thing to do with these are I'm gonna paint them back to gray. No more silver, nice gray Nikes. So I'm gonna start by just cutting off the sleeves of this jacket. Alright, so these sleeves are done, and now time to glue them to the vest. Alright, so now that these sleeves are all finished up on here, it's looking pretty nice, but I want to do a few more little accent pieces on the red vest that I'm going to make with cutting up some little pieces of fabric from that gray jacket, the one with no sleeves now. And like for instance, he has a gray collar, so I'm going to cut off the collar of the gray jacket and hot glue it into this. And then he has a couple little pockets right here. So for that, I'm going to cut up both a piece of the gray fabric as well as a little bit from the inside of this red vest just to attach on there and look pretty good. And then we'll go from there. Alright, and that is it for Marty's awesome red and gray jacket. And now we're gonna move on to his hat. So like I said, I got this hat for about $4. You could also just look around your house for an old hat. So his hat, it's actually called a lenticolor hat. Look it up. And it's kind of a rainbow tie-dye kind of look. It's, pink and yellow and blue. But it also, depending on the way you're facing the hat, it kind of changes colors where you can see it differently. You understand? Now I can't do that, but I can make it look really shiny and glossy, so I'm gonna do that. So for two reasons: one, this has an embroidered design on it, and two, the texture of this fabric will make the hat look really matte even after it's painted with gloss. So what I'm gonna do to make it just that much more shiny, so I'm gonna cover it with plastic wrap. I already had some of this, and I'm gonna glue just pieces all around this hat, and then when we paint it, it'll all look just really shiny and glossy, and should look pretty good. Alright, so it's a little funky, but hey, looks pretty good. I don't know exactly how well this is gonna work, but we're all in this together. So now we're gonna go spray paint this. So I'm actually gonna cover it with a white primer first, and we're gonna see just how wrinkly the cling wrap made it look. So I tried to cover it as much as I can with nice flat, even pieces of cling wrap, but as you can see, it did turn out a little wrinkly. It's not perfect, but I'm okay with that, and I kind of think it looks kind of cool, so yeah. So I have a bunch of different colors of old spray paint cans here to try to give it that tie-dye effect, but you're definitely going to want a pink, a yellow, and then some kind of like aqua or a teal. So let's get started. So this is my first time attempting to do a spray paint blending technique. So I'm not an expert on it in any way, but what I kind of decided to do is I started with more lighter colors first, like the yellow, and I just go over it with a nice stroke, and then another color, more strokes, and I think it ended up looking pretty good. You don't want to blend too much to the point where it starts looking all brown and just bleeding together. You don't want that, but feel free to just play around with it, have some fun with it, and just make it your own too. You could really use whatever colors you want, I guess. So that's what I did, and I think it turned out pretty good, honestly. And yeah. Alright, and that is it for Marty's awesome rainbow lenticolor hat. I'm not gonna lie, it turned out okay. It's not the greatest, but I mean, it was my first time blending spray paint, and I think it turned out pretty good, maybe. Janine certainly got a whole lot of spray paint on her neck there, being the hat model. That's okay. So that is it for this for now. And now we're gonna move on to the final piece of this costume, his shoes. Alright, so these gray shoes are in from being spray painted. They looked a lot better silver, and you'll notice I took the laces out of them. And I guess it's the best time to tell you that unfortunately, these are not going to be actual self-lacing shoes. What I mean by that is they will look really awesome, being the Nike mags with the cool gray and the different details on them. But as far as the laces go, I am going to add white laces in there, but they're not going to be self-lacing. They're going to look 100% authentic, I hope, except you're going to have to tie the laces. So it'd be way too hard to actually make them self-lace. You could try to make them, I don't know, Velcro shoes and then like have fake laces or something. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just gonna have them still being able to tie them normal shoes, but have all the details of the Nike mags. So with that, let's move on to some of the details. So the real logos on them are white. I'm just gonna cover them with a piece of white tape, and I'm also gonna be using some more of that white duct tape for some more of the trim and details. And then just looking at the picture and stuff, trying to match all the little details on them. You know, it's that Nike and all that great stuff. So just feel free to wing it. And I'm just using white duct tape and just different random things to make up the details. So I just spent well over an hour watching tutorials on how to bar lace shoes, which is where the laces run in horizontal lines up the shoe, which look a lot more accurate to the real Nike mags, which the laces just run straight across. So I thought that'd look really good, but after all my searching and attempting, it's just not possible on my kind of shoe. It's just the weird way the eyelets work on my shoe and stuff. So I just ended up doing the normal zigzag way, but you should definitely do the bar way too. Alright, and that is it for Marty's awesome Nike mags here. Some nice knockoff duct tape Nike mags here. They look pretty good. They're really cool, honestly. So these are some awesome shoes to add to my collection of movie shoes, and they really just tie the whole costume together. So getting into some of the few finishing touches now, Marty wears a maroon shirt, so you might already have one or you can find one at the thrift store. I have this one that I was actually wearing earlier in the video if you noticed. It has a texture on it, but I'm just going to wear it flipped inside out, and that's it for that. And then Marty just wears jeans in like all the movies, but a little note here about the second film, only when they go into the future, Doc says that the future kids wear their pants flipped inside out. So to mimic this, Marty, he takes his pockets and flips them inside out, like that. So you should do that for the costume too if you want to get really authentic, and looks pretty good. Well, ugly, but good, ugly, authentic, right? And with that, we're ready for the big reveal. Alright, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this tutorial, make sure to hit that like button. If you have any questions on this build, as well as suggestions for future costumes, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'm always looking for new ideas. And for new costume tutorials every other week, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time here on The Costume Kid. Now where's my